I particularly like how Padraig has divided the space into 3 almost separate rooms or compartments. It feels as if it's an extension of the house, and I think although it's a small garden, I actually think it's a better use of space and it adds a lot more excitement and diversity to the space. It's kind of a space within a space. Had he just gone and just used the boundary of the garden to define the space, it just would have seemed quite plain, quite stagnant. I think by having the different rooms, you know, you have a different experience in each space. The gravel and stone pathway is much more formal, and then the secret garden is more rustic. Even the furniture choices and the plants are more rustic and informal. I think that Padraig has actually made the space seem a lot bigger than it is. I think Padraig has been very, very clever with his use of space, much more so than had he approached it as one large open space. It's much more varied and exciting for the client. Padraig has kept the palette very neutral. It really, really ties into his woodland theme. Initially, I thought perhaps he could have used a bit more colour, but actually I think the soft palette of green really works. You know, green is quite a positive colour, but it's also really calming. And the hue that he went for it's really soft. Although it's over quite a large span of material, it's so subtle that it doesn't really impact too harshly on the garden. It's kind of calming no matter where you're looking. He also went for mainly green planting. There's not very many colourful flowers, and I think that actually works really well because you're more focused on the textures of the planting and the different tones of green that are there. Padraig went for quite a dark colour on some of the structures within the garden. I'm really glad he didn't do that on the boundary wall. Really, if somebody is looking to make a space feel bigger, you should go for those kind of subtle tones, almost with a muddy hue in them. The soft green, it's not too harsh, so it makes the space seem bigger. I think when using a large amount of wood, it's really important to remember that wood, it's a dense material. Some people, you know, they appreciate wood and they're happy to have everything look wooden, but it can be very dominating. There is no harm painting it and softening it up because it shouldn't be the dominant thing within the garden. The actual planting and the flowers should be the dominant thing. I really, really appreciated how Padraig spoke about the journey throughout the space. I think a good design should really give the user a good experience and a journey to follow, and there shouldn't be any dead ends. And he has done that really successfully. There's lots of different ways you can walk throughout the space. I especially love the children's area and the stepping stones, the tree trunk pathway. I think that works really, really well. I think that circulation is a huge part of any successful design, and I think people, before committing to any hard landscaping, they should really imagine themselves walking through that space and plan out the journey so that there are a few different options to walk through that space.